Stone Cold is headed to the WWE Hall of Fame one more time, right? So a two-timer.
Hey, what's up, Steve? Coming to you from the Broken Skull Ranch. I'm out here in the horse barn, and I'm hanging out with Pancho. And Pancho is dead asleep, and I'm probably wishing that I would keep my voice down. So anyway, I'm just making this announcement that I'm really excited and honored to be going into the WWE Hall of Fame for my match with Bret the Hitman Hart and WrestleMania 13 all them years ago at the Rosemount Horizon. And it goes in as an immortal moment. So Bret and I will be there. I haven't seen Bret in many years. It'll be a hell of an honor to go into the Hall of Fame with him. He's a guy that meant so much to my career, and it just seems like we had chemistry from the first time we ever locked up. And WrestleMania 13 was certainly. So I'll be there live and in living color at the Fountain Blue, however you pronounce that hotel. And I'm also looking forward to seeing, you know, so many of the people that I wrestled with. We had such a stacked roster back in the Attitude Era. Have gone into the Hall of Fame, and now one of my favorite rivals and favorite guys to work with. And so many calamities and hijinks happened with Triple H and myself in the ring, and we always had a blast working together. So they're finally putting him in, and I know they caught him off guard and surprised him. So it's about damn time that Triple H is going into the Hall of Fame. He's the headliner. It will be fun to watch him speak of his days in the squared circle, and he's doing great work now. But excited to go into the Hall of Fame with Paul, Triple H leading the charge. So it's going to be a good time, and I will see you live and in living color at the Fountain Blue Resort.
Look in my eyes. What do you see? Right?
Hotel, whatever the hell it is, but
cult of meat with extra cheese.
For Pancho, who I just woke up cutting this promo, I'm out.
So John Cena was announced for WWE World, and it's sold out in 5 minutes, and it costs $367.82 USD to do a meet and greet with heel John Cena, and it sold out in 5 minutes. He's a rock star, baby. So here's Cody Rhodes doing Maxine Dupree's gimmick or Otis's gimmick or Scotty 2 Hottie's gimmick, whatever, whoever you grew up watching. No, he's doing the worm at the end of SmackDown. And this triggered some people. They're like, do you think he took it too far? Is he just being playful? It's like, well, I don't know. Did he like do the worm while another guy did the worm and then they both flew out of it and clotheslined each other? Like, then that's silly, but he's not even in a match. He's just like in a tracksuit doing the worm, having fun. Yeah, I don't know why people are triggered by this. It's just a dude humping the ground. What's the problem? Here we go. So moving along. Okay, so Vince Russo, bro, has lashed out. Bro, I'm lashing out. Unleashed, bro. I'm unleashing on these marks, bro. I'm castrating them. Like, bro, they're like cattle. They're like full-grown cow. I'm castrating them, bro. Man enough to confront Randy Orton after he hit, I don't know, with 2 RKOs on Bro Down, Russo said. On Bro Down. We bro down. When we were broing down with Jim Cornette, bro, at Vince McMahon's pool, and I came up with the Montreal screw job. He said Randy Orton paid to hit him with the RKO, bro. He paid him twice. He paid him in advance. What a wuss. No balls general manager. This is what I'm talking about as far as protecting characters, bro. When Mae Young gave birth to that hand, bro, we took care of Mark Henry and all of that. Bro, David Arquette, when I won the World Heavyweight Championship, bro, I'm the World Championship Wrestling Champion, bro. Mick Aldis did the same is the same exact size as Randy Orton. He's supposed to be an authority figure. He gets RKO twice. Okay, the first time I'll let it slide. I mean, I personally would have went in War Games and let Goldberg spear me and then come out with the world title. But Nick Aldis, you're Vince Russo, man. He's such a Melvin. You RKO me again. I'm going to let it slide. I'm sorry, bro. It makes Nick Aldis, the commissioner, look like an absolute pussy, bro. Oh, my God. I need something from Vince on the soundboard. He's so...
Thank you. You buy. Boom.
He's just generationally, hilariously bad. Has bad takes for generations, you know? Here we go. That's just funny. It's like, yeah, come on, man. You're the last guy to talk about what authority figures should be doing on television or pay-per-view in the pro wrestling business, Vince Russo. I hope you know that. So Brock Lesnar has been run-upped on a bunch of times by people and asked, like, hey, when are you coming back? And he's like, maybe I'm thinking about it, and da-da-da-da-da. This guy says, he posts a picture with Brock, and he goes, did you ask him if he was going to come back to WWE? And he said, I did. He says he's not and that he's retired. Now, Brock went from being like, I don't really know, to now being run-upped on and saying, nah, I'm fully retired. Meanwhile, Cody Rhodes name drops him on SmackDown. Now, that could either mean we're being uber swerved, or that could mean that it's just menial and nothing, and they're like, yeah, he's retired. So it's like, imagine you beat like Hulk Hogan or something, you know, 20 years ago, and you're like, oh, I beat Hulkster or whatever. Yeah, and he's looking kind of like old, like not old, right? It's Brock. He's still super jacked, but he's looking frosty and just like frostier than normal. I don't know, man. I hope he's doing well, and I hope he's taking care as far as, because, you know, I don't know the whole Vince thing. Like, is he even roped up in that anymore? I have no clue where that's even at anymore. Like, what even happened? Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see Brock again. Now, am I disappointed? I got to be honest, no. I think the way he went out, let's say if that was on his own terms, it's like, what a more perfect way to go out by putting Cody Rhodes over, the new face of the company, and then Brock, the most legit guy, just bowing out. Really think about it. Kind of storybook, man. And especially that feud. And then the way he, at the end, was like, no, I'm going to first shoot, like, give this guy respect and give him like an unplanned, you know, where I raise his arm or like I bring him in. And because Cody Rhodes is like, I didn't know that was going to happen. And when you watch the video, I don't know. To me, it looks like Cody Rhodes looked like he looked scared for a second, like Brock is going to beat the shit out of him or something. But I don't know, man. Either way, if this is the end for Brock, round of applause for his career. Outside of the ring shit, I mean, whatever, right? MMA fans do this too. They're like, oh, he was on steroids, he popped. And it's like, yeah, everyone in UFC was on steroids then. Bro, everyone was on steroids then. Everyone says John Jones is the great. He's on steroids now, probably still, you know? People found a way to shit on him in MMA. But anyways, here's Kairi saying, 3 months ago, she says, I tore a ligament in my thumb and I couldn't even open a bottle cap. Crazy. Now I fully regained my grip strength and I'm even stronger than before. I'm truly grateful from the bottom of my heart to Dr. Hirsch, who performed my surgery. He was such a kind and wonderful doctor. I wish I had taken a photo with him to remember that moment. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Don't feel bad about that, Kairi, you know? Let me see here, though. Here's a video of her doing chin-ups and the G-Rod. All my videos are getting striked from music and stuff, so we're no. I should have said it before. But yeah, but yeah, shout them out. They recovered well. Chelsea sold it well, and good on the ref calling it a shoot. That's what you do. Count out. The title doesn't change. Now Zelina can go, I get it. Everyone's like, push Zelina. She go, all right, at the Backlash or at the Raw after Mania, I want, or SmackDown or whatever, I want a title shot. Boom. They just worked a shoot storyline there kind of by mistake. So that's all good. Nobody got hurt, right? So, and it didn't look bad. They sold it like professionals. So, and that's what I mean. In WWE, it feels more sports-based too, because everything feels like a shoot, you know, whereas in AEW, it's so overly like, you know, they're working together and then Moxley gets impaled and it's like, and you know, they're working together in WWE too, but just the physicality of a lot of these guys, we're in a different era now where people are like pile driving. And I'm not saying they're taking it overboard, but we're seeing like people get pile driven. We're seeing people, well, we've seen it for a little while with like Sheamus and, you know, Drew and Gunther, and thank God for them because they sort of brought that back a little bit. And I'm not saying people need to go out there and concuss each other and beat the shit out of each other in pro wrestling. Like I'm the last guy who needs to even see that, you know, although when you see it now and again, that's why it's so refreshing when you get a Gunther, because he really chops the out of a guy and you're like, wow, he's special because of that, you know. But anyways, I don't need to explain that whole thing, that whole aspect of it. You guys get that. But yeah, just the physicality, you know, the brawling brutes, and it's getting more, the matches are more like struggles and contests, you know. Someone said that, like, Will Ospreay, yeah, I covered it on the show, he's like, AEW's more sports based, and I'm like, nah, dude, no, like, show someone WWE, then show someone NFL, and then AEW or whatever, and ask what's more similar if they had to pick between two of the three, you know, like presentation wise and shit. Speaking of the brawling brutes, though, Ridge Holland is getting hated on by sickos, man. This guy's like, genuinely, Ridge Holland, they should have released him when he injured Big E, and that should have been it. Get that walking workplace accident out of WWE and out of sports entertainment. This guy here says, Andre Chase is a Timu Sad Corman. Thea Hale hasn't been on TV. Duke Hudson was released. Riley Osborne was moved to Evolve.
Ooh, suit you, sir. It's not a very nice comment, is it? You're thinking about me, though. I'm in your head, though. Living rent-free, though. Oh, and one more thing. You're a virgin. Say that, lad.
That's how you heal on social media. WWE fans are the smartest fans. So George Capture brought this to the show a while back. Okay? And allegedly. No, according to this research, the remote IQ tests. Now, here's the thing. IQ tests are, like, a lot of them are like these internet IQ tests. Is that what this is? I'm not shitting on this at all, right? Like, I think I'm intelligent. No, I'm a dumb. But we, you know, we as wrestling fans, we do have to think about the sports element and the statistics and all that, especially in the age of the internet. But at the same time, we have to factor in, like, story elements, remember plot points, remember characters. Whereas in hockey or football or something, like, that's a shoot, not so much. I'm surprised MMA fans weren't, unless they just didn't rank. Because MMA fans as well, like, a lot of times, you know, you have to remember, well, you don't have to, but, you know, a promotion will put together a fight and you're like, well, these two guys fought in the regional circuit, but this guy was 5 fights deep and this guy made his debut, and it, you know, like, you know, it serves you to know that type of information as well, or it adds context, or like a little bit of beef to the situation or whatever, you know. You can tap into, like, oh, they had a rivalry back in Bellator or whatever, right? But either way, baseball fans had 101.30 IQ. NFL fans had 105.90. Basketball had 110.70. Ice hockey had 112.30 IQs, and wrestling had 112.6 IQs. That's awesome, I guess. But psychologists administering the test have therefore suggested that watching wrestling and keeping up with the characters, storylines, and wrestling moves can increase intelligence in some capacity. Verbal, mathematics, logic, and visual, and has confirmed that the very smartest sports fans are those. And here's the thing. Wrestling fans are more closely connected to, like, comic book fans, I'd say, who are like hardcore wrestling fans, I would say, are the rare subsection of football fans that are like diehard comic fans, a lot of them too, and stuff like that, you know. But there is the casual overlap. But you know what I mean? If we're just circling out, like, those folk, like, there's a lot of nerds who like wrestling. It's real life comic books come to life. That's a way that it's been explained to me, and I've explained it to people in the past, you know. I could see that too, like, just if we're talking like, oh, your classical geek nerd guy who's like good at calculus and good at all of that sort of, maybe, sure, there's more of them who keep up with wrestling than, let's say, hockey, where you can literally just drop your mitts and start fighting. But, you know, I couldn't see that if I'm trying to rationalize this test. But again, I'm not like, where did this come from? You know, I'd love to know. And I'm not shitting on wrestling fans at all. I'll believe it. I'll take this as a dub-dubby, you know, for us. But yeah, shout out wrestling fans. We're super intelligent buds, you know?
I don't know!
Other celebrities, Kieran Culkin, he starts fantasy mark booking. We'll give him an X-Files. Who would have thought we'd give Kieran Culkin an X-Files on this show? But he fantasy mark books what he would like to see at WrestleMania and says he'll be there. He'll more than likely be there.
Hi, Kieran. Any thoughts on WrestleMania this year?
I'm a little bit behind. I'm a couple weeks behind.
So am I.
I was hoping it was going to be Punk Rhodes.
I'll see you in the main event of WrestleMania.
But I really like Cena Rhodes. Loving Cena.
I'm breaking up with you.
Do you think Punk, your friendly acquaintance, do you think he'll win his match?
Really, what makes that amazing is any of those three could. But I got Punk.
Okay.
What do you have?
I think he'll win. I'm sorry that you won't be there to see it because you've got this show, this great show.
Thank you.
But we hope that we'll see you at SummerSlam in Jersey.
I'm going to go to that.
Let's go. Confirms he'll be there. So Rhea Ripley broke the internet as Raw gets on the air, and I'm just going to leave that there and play this music again. No. But can we get a yeet for Jey Uso and Rhea Ripley, ladies and gentlemen? Breaking the internet. Okay. We'll just leave that there as Penta comes in, doing his little thirst walk, and there's Rhea Ripley. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Rhea Ripley, ladies and gentlemen. That's the segment. That's the segment right there. Amazing stuff. AJ Styles and The Undertaker's meme is featured in the movie Drop. Seth dressed like a Zesty Shield member. Drop. You are not in control. So again, the latest on a Brock Lesnar return. So then the dirt sheets jump on this. So Fightful Gossip says there are currently no plans to bring Brock Lesnar back, and there have been no conversations about such behind the scenes. I've been told adamant. Oh, this is Meltzer. So no. Fightful says there are currently no plans to bring Brock Lesnar back, and there have been no conversations about such behind the scenes. So then we play on Dave Meltzer flute. Because Dave goes, I've been told adamantly. It's like, this is in the hands of WWE legal. It's not in the hands of Paul Levesque. Nick Khan's not going to overrule legal. And when they think that, the case is, actually, except it's, CMLL, it's going to be settled or whatever it is, Brian, then maybe he'll come back. I don't know. But one thing I do know is that
this guy's Tony Khan.
So, yeah, they're speculating now. I mean, easy to say that shit. Here's John Oliver talking about Shiloh Hill, the guy from WWE LFG, to me, who's like the top standout to me, in my opinion. And, yeah, he's getting flamed by this cringe lord John Oliver here.
I'll explain what it is in a minute. But before I do need you to know that man is a WWE wrestler who goes by the ring name Shiloh Hill, which, to be honest, isn't a top-tier wrestling name. It sounds more like the title of an unwatchable indie film. But it gets even more confusing when you find out that his real legal name is Thunder Justice Keck. I am completely serious. Imagine having the name Thunder Justice and using something else to wrestle under. It'd be like finding out that my legal name was Zippy Bookworm. Why change? Anyway, the point is, I'll explain what it is in a minute. But before I do need you.
Yeah, I don't know. That's funny. He's gone viral. This Shiloh Hill guy, he goes viral for like showing people how to go on the dark web and shit, or a vignette rather. So let's get into some more WWE news because I have a lot to get to. This person here, the S Bubs, go and follow them. They say listening to the Stephanie Vaquer interview, and this person here translates it. And she says she talks about how AEW called her when she was already in Toronto to talk to WWE, saying that they knew, Tony Khan knew she was there and told her not to sign with WWE. She was talking with AEW and WWE, telling them both, here's what the other's offering. Like, you guys are bargaining over me, right? You guys are bidding over me. So she told them to give her a day to think about it, told them both. And that AEW offered to pay for the flight and the hotel right away. We'll pay for your flight and hotel, and we'll pay for your flight and hotel over there, and we'll even pay for your new gear. It's great, right? And WWE wanted her to be front row at Heatwave, but she didn't want to owe anyone anything, so she didn't do either that day. Gangster move. This is why she's going places. She stood on business right there. No, I'm not just going to go on Heatwave right away and up any other opportunity I might have, right? Like, I'm just not going to owe anyone anything. You're not going to do that gangster move where you do something nice for me, and then all of a sudden it's hung over my head when I'm like, when I have my life going on or whatever, right? She pulled gangster shit right there. So then she said she told WWE what AEW was offering in terms of money, and they said, we can't match that. Good luck in AEW. So she was crying, even though she was going to make more money. Listen to this part. This is key. So Stephanie was crying, even though she was going to go make more money in AEW, because WWE was her dream. And that's when she realized she cared more about going to WWE and making her legacy and fulfilling her dreams, every wrestler's dream, than going for a paycheck and being unhappy and having that empty void and being put in Ring of Honor against Athena in 2 months. So later, Shawn Michaels himself called her and talked to her. She told him that even if someone offered her $100 million, she wouldn't be happy if she wasn't doing what she loved. Facts. She says Shawn totally understood and told her some great stuff that she'll keep to herself, but that made her want to sign the next day. She accepted the contract. She goes, this person goes on, that's just my translation. Another detail to add to this thread, now that more people are seeing it, is she said WWE called her the morning after Forbidden Door. She talked to CMLL about it, and they were surprised because AEW had told them they were going to call, but WWE ended up calling first. Oh, well, I was at the NBA. It was a late one for me. White call. Yeah, that's amazing. And she blew everyone away during that match with Mercedes Moné at Forbidden Door. So Triple H says the internet and complaining on there is not real life. Here, I have the clip of it, actually, so we'll play that. Here's Triple H talking about how he hates internet wrestling opinions, even though we know that he does prowl the internet for him. We know that, okay? I think that's pretty well known. And shout out Triple H, bro.
The internet's not real life. Right, and the bitching and the
but no, I know what he means about like the fickleness, though, like, and just being so dramatic. And he's right; it's not real life. It isn't. As far as like what people say is not how they conduct themselves or anything, you know. So I get what people mean when they say that, but at the same time, we know he does like looking at opinions from the net, dude.
The internet's not real life. Right, and the bitching and the complaining that is on there, it's not real life. Like you could read the internet and it'll sound like this thing is dead. It's not, like, and I'll use Cody as the example. Cody's already jumped the shark. He's dead as a baby face. He's like, really? Because I don't know. I'm in an arena with 10,000, 15,000 people every night going ape shit for me, selling the most merchandise. He's like, yeah, like, but sure, whatever you want to say on the internet. That's the.
Here we go. So Randy Orton has set Kevin Owens up with a second opinion from a surgeon he worked with previously. At this stage, his advice for Owens is to make the best decision for himself and his family and to reach out if he needs to talk. This is not a word.
Dummy. Yeah.
Orton all but confirmed it there. There's no way they just... Unless it is, dude, that would be insane. I hate to like keep that alive, but I'm just putting over like, no, if Kevin did do that, it would be brilliant, but I really hope he's okay in the long run, you know? Triple H talks about almost walking out of WWE in 96, which I'm not going to call him a liar, but I don't know about all that.
The only one time I ever went to him and bitched in all of it, and it was because he put me in a match with a guy that was almost impossible to work with, and then gave me like the worst referee that we had, and like the whole setup was bad, and it went really badly, and I came back and I went off, and it was like, hey, if you're going to not allow me to have the chance to succeed, then I'm out of here. Yeah. Like, you cannot give me that. You cannot put me in a position where I cannot succeed or cannot win and can't even do my job. Right? Like, if you put me in that position, then I have no choice but to go, because I can't overcome that.
What was it?
I was wrestling a guy that was just terrible. They wanted me to have this long match with him. They gave me the worst referee, which a referee can help you work around people's inabilities, because I can talk to the referee. So if I need a guy to do something, he's not doing something right, I can't just always...
Netflix glitched on me. India's watching now. 10 million people, Brian.
Walk over there and tell him, like, fuck, right? Like,
so you tell the referee.
So I'm like, tell him to stop doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and the referee can go over and tell him, he said, stop doing that, do this, right? And I have enough experience to where guys will listen, but I need that. Sometimes you need the help, especially on live TV.
Yeah.
Or even tape TV, you just need to have that help.
Who is the guy?
Ahmed Johnson, a guy named Ahmed.
Oh, I remember him.
Ahmed Johnson just buries Ahmed, dude. Come on. Oh, come on now.
He's like injured people in the ring.
That's not very fair. Ahmed Johnson did the Tiger Driver before it was cool and overused. That's not very fair.
ring, right?
He was hurting people, and he was just big and
Yeah,
just
big steroid-looking dude.
Yeah, and you couldn't understand him, and he had an attitude problem, and just that's him. And it was just one of those things. And when I came back, I was pissed, and I went to Vince and.
Back then, like Triple H wasn't. I don't even think he was like world champion back then. Or anything. 96? Yeah, that was like before his run. So here Triple H speaks on CM Punk not liking a creative decision and how they both resolved the issue together instead of, Punk came up to me and said, you need to work with me, not the other way around. I am the game.
We've had a couple of moments since his return. Like there was one moment where to return and they had told him something creatively and they told me he does not like this. I was like, okay, I'll talk to him. Went and talked to him and I was like, what's going on? I told him the creative and he was like, that's good, whatever. And I was like, I know you don't like it. Everybody told me. So like, let's be open. He's well, so then he complained about what it was. And I said, okay, let's go sit and talk about it. Come up with something good. And that sort of changed the paradigm shift for us relationship wise. And now part of like, it's a funny thing for me to even say, like sitting down and being collaborative with CM Punk is one of my favorite things at TV because he shares a very similar view at the end of the day of the business as I do.
Yeah, man. But he's a cancer. I mean, that is shitty that he didn't want to question booking. But again, he's like, no, I don't want to stir this shit up. And so Triple H opened that door. Punk said, walked right through it again. So instead of like kicking doors down, pun intended, right? And having to fight your way, pun intended, right? It's more like Triple H is opening the door. Punk says his piece. They go from there. That's it for WWE news tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's lock in here. Final